We've got first versus third, a battle of the two biggest fan bases in the country, and Sydney and Glory playing off for a spot in the top six. My name's Lockie, this is the Coast Watch Football YouTube channel, and here's my round 24 A-League predictions. Let's kick off with Friday night, Newcastle Jets Macarthur SC, which should be a massive game for both teams. Both teams missing out on victory last week. Newcastle Jets, that really poor performance away to Brisbane, losing 3-0. Macarthur FC drawing 2-2 in the battle for Western Sydney. Macarthur came back really strong in that second half. I was really impressed with that. Alassane Toure had a great cameo off the bench, and overall defensively were solid for much of the game. Newcastle Jets at home, I think, should be going in as favourites into this game, and a big one for both teams. Obviously, 3 points would be absolutely massive to bring them closer to the top six, and both desperately need a win as well. I think if one of these teams lose, that might be the end for their season. There's only a handful of rounds remaining, and for me, this is Newcastle Jets' game to win. They're at home, they have to make a statement here, and they've got the quality to do it. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Ren Episcopo has had a decent run on the side now. He hasn't had an injury for a little while now, which is a positive sign for Newcastle Jets. I'm backing a Newcastle win. I'm going to go 2-1 to Jets. Saturday afternoon sees the Mariners take on Melbourne City in what should be a really entertaining top of the table clash. We've got Melbourne City, of course, sitting in first place. A win for them will claim the Premier's plate. Mariners gaining some form, 2 big wins in the last couple of weeks. They're sitting in third place and are looking to catch Adelaide United. Obviously, it's a big advantage finishing in the top 2. It means you miss out on that first week of finals and you secure your place in the semi-finals. And the Mariners desperately want that, especially after being knocked out in the elimination finals 2 seasons in a row now. Heading into this game, I'm curious to see how Melbourne City go about approaching this one. They'll be wary of the danger that the Mariners possess in attack. Central Coast Mariners 4 goals against Brisbane, 3 against Western. That's 7 in the last 2 games. Cummings, Tulio, Nkolola, all these players coming into some really good form towards the end of this season. Melbourne City, though, they put on another fantastic performance last time around against Wellington Phoenix, the 4-1 win. Marco Tilio, Jamie McLaren tapping in goals as well. This is going to be a high quality game. Some Socceroos involved in this one. I think it should be close. I'm going to go 2-2. And then Saturday night prime time, we'll be doing a live watch along for Western Sydney Wanderers and Melbourne Victory, 2 of the biggest fan bases in the country, it has to be said. And it's always an exciting clash between these 2 teams. Hopefully a big turnout at CommBank Stadium for this one. Melbourne Victory, this is a huge test for them. Wanderers are obviously a class side. Wanderers almost going down to defeat last week in the Battle of the West against Macarthur FC, but Brandon Barella risking it late. He's the star man for them, and you'd expect that he'll get on the score sheet once again here against Tony Popovic's side. But Victory, I mean, they were building some pretty decent form before that draw to Perth Glory, which almost felt like a loss. Victory really dominated that game against Glory and failed to win. This is the opportunity now. It's going to be really difficult for Victory to get anything out of this game, I think, though. Wanderers, I think, will have too much quality for Melbourne Victory, though, in this game. I'm going to go Wanderers for a 3-1 win. On Sunday afternoon, we've got an A-League triple header, and it kicks off in New Zealand with Wellington Phoenix taking on Brisbane Roar, which is a very fascinating clash. Wellington Phoenix are on a 3-game losing streak, and Brisbane Roar coming off some decent home form, but have been struggling away from home. The problem, the scenario for Nick Green now is how to solve that, how to turn that really good home form into points on the road. This is a good chance for Brisbane Roar to pick up some points here away to Wellington Phoenix, but we know that Phoenix are generally pretty strong at home. They are playing this game at Eden Park. But this is a big match for Wellington Phoenix, who have been in the top 6 for much of the campaign. But if teams in the bottom 6 like Glory pick up 3 points in this match, it all of a sudden becomes a little bit shaky in the final rounds for Wellington Phoenix, who sit in 5th place on the ladder. Brisbane Roar, they really need to get as many points as possible remaining in the season. A win here would be huge for them. But I'm not sure if I can see it happening. I think this one will end in a draw. I think an entertaining game though, 2-2. Our second game on Sunday sees Sydney FC take on Perth Glory in a game I'm really excited to watch because there's a lot on the line in this match. A win for Perth Glory and they will jump into the top 6, replacing Sydney FC. Sydney, the Sky Blues have been holding on for so long now, and all the teams below them just haven't been able to jump up and take their place in the top 6. This is Perth's chance. Perth Glory had the opportunity away to Melbourne Victory last week. They failed in that game. They really struggled to create they didn't have much cohesion moving forward in attack. It'll be interesting to see whether Zakovic decides to, start someone like Adam Taggart rather than keeping him on the bench, and also what formation they go for Perth Glory. We've seen them chop and change a little bit, whether it's a back five, back four. So that'll be an interesting question heading into this game for Perth Glory. Sydney FC, though, a decent result away to Adelaide United, that 1-1 draw. They were solid defensively in that game. Jack Rodwell, Alex Wilkinson creating a decent centre-back partnership. That could be a big feature for them heading into the final rounds of the season. If they could just tighten up defensively, grab the points that they need to secure finals. That's all it'll take for Steve Corica's side. But this one, I think it'll end in a draw, 1-1. And then lastly, we've got Adelaide United and Western United. The Battle of the Uniteds. This game is probably the easiest one to predict across the whole weekend. We've got tie matches everywhere, except this one, I'm expecting a lot of people to tip Adelaide, and I'm going to back them as well. I did say a similar thing when it came to Adelaide hosting Sydney FC. We expected, an Adelaide win easily in that game, especially at home, but they were held. And can Western United do it? I can't see it happening. I mean, especially after seeing West United lose the way they did to Mariners last week. I get the sense that Western are one of those teams who are fading away a little bit. I'd be surprised if Western got a result out of this game. Adelaide, Calvert won't let his side slip down and drop points 2 weeks in a row. He'll be adamant that his team goes in and puts in a solid performance so that they can secure their place in the top two. Adelaide United should get the win here in this one. I'm going to go for 3-0. There's my predictions. Drop your predictions down in the comments. I'm really curious to see what your guys' predictions are for this upcoming round of A-League football. As I mentioned, some really tight matches all across the weekend. Make sure you're here Saturday night prime time. We'll be doing a live watch along for Western Sydney Wanderers taking on Melbourne Victory. Victory playing for a chance to jump closer to the top 6. My name's Lockie. This is Coastal Football. I'll see you guys in the next one.